Hi, I'm David Lee. Welcome again to another adventure of culinary capers here in my kitchen. And we're going to do something unique again tonight. As we all know, living in Shell Point has many, many wonderful features to it. And one of them is the dear friends you get to make. And one of my dear friends who knows I love French cooking and who is French is Marie-Michelle McCarthy. Welcome to my home. And she gave me several French cooking vessels, one of which was a tureen to make pate. And her only request was I make pate. Well, I didn't know how to do that. Well, then another wonderful thing about Shell Point is Fine Mark Bank. And you're going to say, why is Fine Mark Bank here? But our exec, Anna, is here tonight to help show us how to do this. And Anna, I want to thank you for being here, but more importantly, thanks for being my banker.
It is absolutely a pleasure, David, and I love doing things with you, so
It's
only
crazy,
you could convince
right?
me to do something like this.
We've only just begun.
I bet we have. That's an understatement, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having us in your home. It's lovely. I've been here before, so thank you so very much. It is absolutely my pleasure to be a part of this and to introduce today, to help us with cooking pate, our wonderful chef, executive chef from our Coconut Point location, Lisa Fiddler.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back here. And as you remember last time, we prepared a wonderful pate. And now I'm going to show you how to take that and present it so that you can invite some guests over and enjoy it.
Yeah, and I liked how you used some different
So,
presentation.
and I did that on purpose because I want to show people that if you don't have a beautiful tureen like this, you can use some smaller vessels. So traditionally a pate is served with some crusty bread and either a mustard or some type of a sweet jelly to kind of break the intensity of how rich that pate is. One of the most traditional, of course, is the nice crusty bread, and this is a beautiful, beautiful baguette. I actually got this at Whole Foods, the new Whole Foods. So all you have to do is just take it, and you're going to make a few slices, and you can hear just how crunchy it is. And it's actually jumping up and hitting me in the face,
Yeah.
which tells you it's really nice and crunchy. So the other thing you want to do is you want to start building a nice presentation. So I'm going to take this bread here and just use that as kind of a backdrop. And then what we'll do is we'll start putting our slices in there. Now, another thing I like to do is, not everybody likes a crusty bread. I actually like crackers when I have little types of spreads like that. So you can find yourself a beautiful little cracker, whether at the grocery store, a specialty market. Almost everybody carries something like this. This is a rosemary cracker, rosemary and sea salt. And always keep in mind that you want to add some different flavors to what you're already doing. So this is a rosemary sea salt. And again, we're just going to look for presentation. So these guys are nice and tall and stiff. You want to try that one too?
Sure. Thank you.
So I'm just going to put these ones over here. And again, we'll have some little breads here. So that's our little bread basket. Now, some of us have friends. A lot of us have friends now that are gluten-free.
Absolutely.
So you have to give them a gluten-free option. So we have this wonderful little gluten-free cracker. And you see we did a black pepper one. So again, it ties into the flavors of the pate.
Yeah.
Now, because this is gluten-free, we want to keep it in a little separate dish. So now we have our crackers, our bread, and all that ready to go. Now we have to build our little platter. So one of the things I like to do with a pate is a cheese. And this here is called a mimolette cheese, which is actually a French cheese. And it is done kind of like an Edam, but it is aged. So it has this beautiful, beautiful orange color. One of the other important things when you're building a platter is you want to make sure that you have lots of color.
Yeah.
You want it just to look really happy, and it will. So I don't have a whole mimolette, but if you see a whole mimolette, it actually looks like a cantaloupe. So the outside actually looks like cantaloupe rind, and the inside actually looks like cantaloupe.
Wow.
But the flavor is just as beautiful, salty. I'll give you guys a couple of pieces to try.
Okay.
There you go. And then again, you just want to do some nice slices. And what I like to do is I like to leave a whole piece just so people can see what it looks like. And then you want to put a few other pieces around. And I'm short, so this is going to be kind of fun to do. And this is just a piece of slate. If you have a piece of marble or something like that, it's fantastic to use. It's great for putting cheeses right on the board. It will also help this to stay a little bit cooler longer. You have to have cornichon. Would you like a cornichon? And it has a very handy dandy little polar upper.
This is a good place to be.
So we also want to put some fruit in there because again, that fruit is going to really cut into the fattiness of that pate, and it just makes it a little bit easier to eat and to digest. So I have some blackberries here. I have 2 types of grapes, and we also have a lingonberry jam, which is really nice. It's very country, so it really goes nicely with a pate because it's such a rustic and country type dish. Then we also have mustard, and I couldn't decide on which mustard, and I didn't have any of your homemade mustards.
But you will.
So that was my way of getting some.
Okay.
So I have this one here is a grainy mustard, and like I said, I couldn't decide which one I wanted, so I got both. And this is a French one. It has champagne and dill in it. So those we put into a side-by-side dish so people can select which ones they want. Now, I also have some star fruits, and you know, these are wonderful. You know, you can eat them plain. So another thing that I do is I start digging through the refrigerator and see what I have. So I have some leftover mushrooms that were sauteed off, and these are wild mushrooms, so they're really funky looking. So the other thing is some type of a nut. So you could go and do, you know, the almonds, the pecans. It's really big to do the Marcoa almonds, but I want to do something a little bit different. So these are some almonds that I did with a little bit of lavender and a little bit of coconut and some coconut oil and egg white. You know, you can get really funky with it. You can spice them, make them spicy.
I better give one to Michelle.
See if it passes the
One for me?
test.
I'm a lucky one of you.
Oh, wow.
So,
you can taste the lavender.
right.
Yeah.
And it's very slight. It's not overwhelming.
But yeah, it's there.
And then
yeah.
you get a little bit of the coconut and then the almond. So it's like I said, it's a little different, and it will pull different flavors out.
I'm going to have you show me how to do that sometime.
I will.
Yeah.
Maybe on our next one.
Okay. If you'll come back.
I will be back all the time. So this one here is some microgreens. And you might say, why would you put microgreens on there? Well, when I take a little piece of bread and spread a little pate on it and put a little microgreen, it makes kind of like a whole different type of an appetizer. This is some micro arugula, micro basil, and there might be some kale in there, but I'm not sure which. And you're welcome to taste those too.
Okay.
And I love using microgreens in all types of different little things.
Lisa, they always say you eat with your eyes first,
Absolutely.
and you're making me hungry here.
Well, then my job is done. We'll throw some blackberries in here. Okay, so now this here is a marigold,
Yeah.
and they are edible. And these ones actually are grown specifically for eating, but you can eat marigolds. And what I like to do is just pull some of these petals off, and then you just kind of sprinkle them around. These I got from our new Whole Foods, which is still jam-packed. Here's our pate.
Wow.
Mushrooms, a little bit of everything. And like I said, if you want to do something different, oh, I forgot our star fruit. We'll put 5 down, make it a 5-star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lisa, I can't thank you enough for this.
Oh, it's my
And
pleasure.
to help me celebrate my wonderful friendship with Maria Michelle McCarthy and our friends here. And thank you to Fine Mark Bank for being a part of this. And I want you to come back and we're going to do some more.
I will be back here.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Bon appetit.
Bye now.